Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Griever back here, bringing you guys a sort of review, not exactly a review from behind the bar, which is once again not exactly behind the bar, etc., etc. You get the picture. Point is, we are doing a review, but this review is not going to be a live reaction. I've already read this chapter, but I felt like maybe instead of trying to convey my feelings across, because I've been doing a lot of live streams lately and such, maybe I'm just in the mood to be doing more like read-throughs, so to speak. So I'm going to be going through chapter 194 of Akatsuki no Yona with you guys right here, right now. We're going to be going through this. There is no live chat. There's nothing like that. This is not a cut live stream or anything like that. I just felt that I just wanted to get this done. I need to get through this because, honestly, last chapter, terrible. This chapter, trying to make up for it, but not so great. And I didn't want to harp on too many points, so I just felt like we should read the chapters. So, here we go. This is chapter 194. Page 1 has us saying, everything's going well with the delivery. I'm not going to be going through each page, though. This is going to be this is a sort of a hybrid between a reaction and a review. So, this is telling us that Yona has been born. Yona is born. The name given to the child is Yona, and we'll send them congratulatory gifts later. And that's what Yuhan is talking to Yeonhee about. Alright. So, next page. Okay, I'm reading on a really bad site apparently. Okay, so she's also got red hair. Fine dandy. Next. Alright, so soo-won apparently has been leaving his quarters quite frequently, looking for adventure and all that such. We get King Il, or the future King Il, bringing soo-won by the hand, saying, we have found him. Now, Il is very against soo-won. Maybe because of a disdain for his brother, maybe because something that Kashi has said about him. We don't know. We have no idea, because Kashi, by the end of this chapter, can see the future of everyone pretty much, or see everything that is going to happen, not necessarily in total words or that makes sense, but she can see it. And if she sees the future of soo-won as black, sort of respect, then that's why Il is so against this reunion, because it's very difficult when you understand. And we're going to go through this chapter, but it's very difficult to understand when Il is so conflicted by his love for his brother, his love for the priesthood, his love for his belief of the Crimson Dragon King, his love for his wife, and the ramifications of what we learn later. So, we're going to see that here. So, here we get Yeonhee running forward and saying, soo-won, what are we up to? He went to see, enter Kashi's room. Went to see Yona. It appears to slip past the guards. You should be more careful lest this child get too close to Kashi and Yona. And she apologizes. It's been more than a year since Yona was born, but they don't really associate together anymore. Excuse me. Kashi hasn't shown herself in Lord Yuhan's presence or mine. Even within the castle, only a few people can get close to Yona and Kashi, which we already understood why that would happen. We get that point, but here's when soo-won brings up an excellent point. Why is that? When I was a little boy, many people come to see me every day. I think Yoda would have more fun that way. And then King Il, the future King Il, just says, I get an unpleasant feeling from this child. And then walks away. So the handmaiden is very distraught by this statement, but you get an unpleasant feeling from this child. Now, knowing what we know later, I'll bring it up again. But knowing what Kashi has now told Il, we'll talk about. So, next page, we says, Yona's red hair was so fluffy and cute that I gently stroked it. When I did that, Lady Kashi took Yona in her arms and drove me out of the room. That's what soo-won is portraying. Lord soo-won is a noble who will be crowned prince one day. Is not only on guard with Lord Yuan, but with soo-won as well. So Yeon he is worrying very much, even though he was so gentle at the beginning. And soo-won feels like he doesn't belong, sort of idea. He's like, do I give off an unpleasant feeling? Yeon he hugs soo-won and said, did Yona find me unpleasant too? I hugged him tight and said that wasn't it, but my words didn't seem to make an impression on him. So soo-won was generally, and once again, with a child, an action can impact the child so heavily. And we know this from all the behavioral analysis, from all the different aspects of different types of fields of study that have gone on with a child's psychology. As I said, behavioral analysis before. There's so much in the realm of children that is so impressionable that soo-won took something from that meeting, knowing that Il did not care for him from that day on. And even though Yeon-hee tried to console him, he didn't listen. His ears were already blocked. He already made up his mind right there. So, anyways, at the bottom panel, we have, as time went by while Lord Yuhan became busy with matters of war and government, Kashi slowly started showing up in the gardens with Yona. So they would see them in the gardens together, and then there's Iguni from the fire tribe, and she's so relieved that Kashi has friends. And then Yeon-hee, knowing that it would cause a disturbance for Kashi, tries to pull the children away and be like, alright, we're going to leave the gardens right now. Let them have their time. Let them be in peace. And said, let's call it a day and not get in their way. Soo-won, we're going back. And then this is where Soo-won's in a tree, meets Hawk, and Hawk's in there, General Mudok, and Soo-won is so quick to give so much information, like a buttload of information. Like, Moondog is here, and Moondog is the greatest warrior of the Wind Tribe. And Moondog's general, Hawk is the kid, and he told me to climb the tree. I climbed the tree. Listen, Mom, I climbed the tree. I couldn't understand it. I climbed the tree, and then I fell out, and then I climbed back up, and it was fantastic. And it was okay. I broke my arm, but then we fixed it, and then we fought a dragon, and we slayed the dragon, and it was all good. You know, we brazed fire, and with the fire, and then it was all good. And then we did that and this and the other thing. Like, Soo-won is talking so goddamn fast. Nobody in their right mind would be able to comprehend how fast this kid is talking. Of course, his mother figures this all out. Goes, are you lost? And Hawk's like, no, I'm not lost. This kid we're playing. And then it becomes a whole we are playing sort of idea, right? So, Iguni shows up and says, this has been a long time, Lady Yeon-hee, Iguni, and she tries to apologize for not, announcing herself in the gardens, worried about Kashi leaving too soon, knowing that Kashi should enjoy the gardens and such, because they've always been very wary of each other. And it's very sad because all Yeon-hee probably wants is Kashi to see her as a friend. And it's been a lot of years and it's very sad. So, Kashi, is it okay for you to approach me? This is the weird line. Kashi and you, like, is it okay for you to approach me? And she looks like a grudge girl right there in that panel. And I'm like, is it okay for you to approach me? And I'm like, is that Yeon-hee's thinking? Like, is it okay for you to approach me? Like, it feels like I got many impressions from that one panel, but we'll move on because I don't think it'll amount to anything. But if that panel means anything later down the line, just keep it in the back of your minds, ladies and gentlemen, because I feel I got, once again, like a grudge feeling here. I got a sinister feeling here, and I just want to be thorough. That's all. So, either way, it's been a long time. Apologies for my rudeness. While looking like a grudge girl, it's creepy. After that, it's okay because Yona's there. And then Yeon-hee takes this aspect. When I first set eyes on her, my legs almost gave out at the spot. I don't know why. It's just that beautiful hair caused me to remember the existence of the Crimson Dragon King who had started to fade from my memory. And then I was, Yona, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Yona. I'm Yeon-hee. I'm your father's older brother's. Oh, Yona! And then soo-won shows up. I'm your older cousin soo-won, and everyone's playing together, and Kashi's there. And Yeon-hee is so worried about this because she knows she's supposed to keep her distance. It hasn't been explicitly stated, but not by Kashi especially, but by Il and stuff. They were meant to keep their distance, and it's all secret. And Kashi says, Lady Yeon-hee, it's fine, thank you. And I think she meant that by the statement, she means the thank you, it's fine, thank you, is a lot, it's a very loaded thank you. It could mean that she is thanking her for all she has done since the fire. Or it could just simply mean a simple thank you for letting your sins go. I like to think it's a middle ground between the two. I like to think that it is a loaded thank you of thank you for not ignoring me. Thank you for acknowledging me. You know who I am. You know where I'm from. But you still just want to have peace. I understand. I appreciate. I respect. Thank you. That's what I'm getting. Maybe you guys disagree. I'd love to hear it in the comments section down below. Now, soo-won introduces Hawk to Yona also in this chapter. And they don't really get along right away, but they find a cat in a tree. They want to run and see it. So Yona, soo-won, Hawk, this is their first real meeting. Hawk met soo-won at this meeting. So they basically all met each other around the same time. Of course, Yona being the youngest, but Hawk and soo-won being the oldest, they met each other at the same day that they met Yona. So they're all going off together. But the moment Hawk grabbed Yona's hand, Kashi all of a sudden spurred into action and grabbed Hawk's shoulder, suddenly was shocked, very shocked. I said, you protect Yona, okay? And that was it. Just please protect Yona. That was... Kashi clearly seems to have an ability to be able to see beyond maybe not her own life, but she's able to see the level of dangers that afflict people that she either is interactive with, that she touches with, that she's directly involved with. It's hard to know, but either way, she's the one who initially set Hawk on the path of protecting him, becoming the Darkness Dragon. Cheers. Because that's wonderful. And then after this, Hawk and the kids run off. We can see them from here. Nothing bad will happen today. So Kashi apparently can see the future. Lady Kashi is truly an amazing person, says So Igni is still there from the fire tribe, and she's part of there with the court of women. Says she would say things as a soothsayer says. For example, what she said right after Lady Yona was born, said, this child, once again, we already have this line, this child has white and blue and green and yellow guardians by her side. And that would mean, and Kashi tries to play it off saying it's a delusion, pay it no mind, a delusion. But at that time, Kashi too said, I feel the same thing, Lord Priest. I feel that the Crimson Dragon King's blood flows within that person. So Kashi was once again part of the priesthood and knew that about Yon-hee and knew about the blood of the dragon. But here's where we get the super interesting part, the part that I really want to discuss with you guys, because she sensed my blood. And that's absolutely true. That's what she sensed. That's what the high priest sensed. That's what everybody sensed. And then we get, Kashi leaving, Lady Yon-hee, the children seem to have opened up to each other. They're cute, aren't they? They're having fun. When you and Lord Il and had just gotten married, Lord Il said he was happy. Are you happy? And Kashi says, I think the reason Lord Il said he was happy was that he would be blessed with a red-haired child. And remember that Il... Alright, so we're jumping from topics. I have to remember to go back to that. I have to remember to go back to the fact that she noted the Crimson Dragon King's blood within Yon-hee. And that was such a big deal. It was a big deal for the whole tribe. I have to remember that before we get, too far deep into this. So Kashi basically says that Il was only grateful because or happy because he was going to be blessed with a red-haired child. That was before Yona was born. Did you already know a red-haired child was going to be born? Kashi, what did you see? Kashi can clearly see the future and says, everyone's future except mine. The note said, she really said people's, but I added it for effect. So, people's future, but not mine, is basically what she's saying. She can't see her own future. She can see other people's future. Now, regardless, does this mean when she touches someone, is that why she grabbed Hawk to see what Hawk's future would be? Or could she already see the future that Hawk had and grabbed him instinctively, being like, almost like a pat on the back, like, thank you, without knowing it, like it was an instinctive thing? So hard to figure that part out, right? So, either way, the future, starting as early as I can remember, she could see the future. I can see the future, sort of, to use a Dragon Ball Z abridged reference there. He taught me things the gods would convey. As a child, believed him. It was Lord Il who saved her from the fire. So, and then she saw a red light descend. So there still was the fire. She still burned, but Il was the one who got her out while being burned himself. Kashi says, I asked him, I wish you to make me your wife. If you do so, your wish will come true. So he wished basically for Yon-hee. He wished for the great Crimson Dragon King to arise once again. He's a fanatic of the priesthood, as we already figured. I feel like we still don't have all the answers. I feel like we still are lacking because we're seeing the wives' perspectives. But we have still yet in this flashback to see the male perspectives. We haven't seen Il and Yuna. We have not seen their perspectives on what has gone down. What went down in the past, what's gone down in the present, how everything came about. We have not seen that. We need to see that to formulate what we believe is right and wrong in as the courses Yona and Hawk go on their journey, and how the four dragons fit into it, and also how we perceive the kingdom. We need this. Because right now we're seeing the woman's perspective. Though it is great insight here. Because Yona, what is she? Having blue and green and yellow and white dragon guardians. It's as if, and it's like the Crimson Dragon King. What's this about? Why Yona? Why now? Your daughter is? What is going to happen? Kashi tries to console her and says, it's not as if I can see everything. What I know is that that child will cause the four dragons to gather once again. The four dragons, they've been waiting for my child to come. You can't mean, isn't that strange? Yona isn't a descendant of the king. If that child is the reincarnation of that dragon king, then what about me and soo-won? What on earth is my family? Yonhee, you are the special child that inherited the special blood of a god. Those who remain protect that girl and protect that gift. Mother, tell me, was there a meaning to protecting our blood at all? That's the end of the chapter, and oh my god. Man, let's take a drink first. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you, very strong chapter. Not my favorite chapter. Once again, last chapter, one of the worst. This chapter definitely stepped up their game. The thing is that if you look back to when I first said about this, it was like, alright, so she feels like, okay, the whole blood of the Dragon King and stuff, it's very odd because, and we need more information. I'm not going to make any theories right here in this video, in this review. I'm not going to make any speculation, but at the end of the day, this woman said, even though I can see the future, all I can do now is support Lord Ill and fulfill my duties as that child's mother. Or mother. Same for me. And yet, living for the sake of Lord Yuan and soo-won. That alone is what guides me. But what can I do? Kashi, can you see my future? My head aches horribly. I have contracted the illness. She got the illness. So she's already, oh gods, I beg you, please just soo-won, spare him from this pain. You beg. And we see a very evil Ill saying, you only pray when it suits you. Didn't you burn all the gods to ash? And it shows the Lord High Priest burning and all this stuff. And it's just like, and Lord Yuan does not know apparently of the headaches that would come repeatedly 2 years past. If it's like this, I can bear it. I haven't told him about it. And that's pretty much the end of the chapter, it seems. Right at the end of the chapter, the old man has collapsed, so the king has fallen ill now. So, there's, like, there's a lot. There's a lot to take in with this chapter. As I said, I don't want to speculate or make any wrong theories, or not even wrong theories, I should say, but bad theories. What I feel right now is that, once again, we are only given the wise perspective. So we're given Kashi's perspective, which gives us a lot more insight than we originally had following Yonhee. But with Yonhee's perspective, we're not given the answers we require, the answers that the fan base wanted. We're not seeing the full story. It sort of feels like a cop-out. I know One Piece does it, but One Piece is a different entity. So I don't think that this was the appropriate time for a flashback if we were going to get this amount of information. Like, usually in a manga, when you get the reveal of the parents, it's a big deal, and that's all we need. But with this flashback, it does not progress the plot along, and does not give the reader, being us, any more information, and that's why I'm a little mad. That's why I'm a little upset. I mean, it's very late at night, guys. Been drinking a lot. Take that as you will, but I don't see anything here in this chapter that would lead me to believe that we've gained, like, oh my god, my eyes are open, this is the next thing. Like, I haven't seen anything like that. I've seen that now Yona is questioning, and I question it too. What did protecting the Crimson Dragon King's bloodline, what did that matter? Yona, direct descendant. Soo-won, Zeno got a weird feeling from Soo-won when first met. So something's up with the Dragon King bloodline. But Yona is questioning it, going, Yona is the reincarnation of the Crimson Dragon King in the end. Not even from my bloodline. So, what does that mean for me? And Soo-won, why did we all suffer? Why did we contract the illness, which is now plaguing her with the headaches, which she's keeping from, this could be the big thing, she's keeping it from Yuhan. I mean, this could be a catalyst for other things. And her attitude and the vision she saw of ill, basically condemning her, saying, you pray to the gods when it suits you, when she is, as her mother stated, is a god. She has blood of the gods. But you only pray to the gods when it suits you, and what did you do to those gods? You burn them. And she had nothing to do with that. She never prayed. She never believed. She's part of that system, but she's like, I'm finding it harder and harder to be on Ill's side here. I'm finding it harder and harder to be on Yuhan's side. Because once again, we're not seeing this from the male perspective. I need the monologue of Ill. I need the monologue of Yuhan. I can't judge these characters until I get their perspective. I need to know what happened, when, and why they did what they did. And then I can say, yes, no, maybe so. Because right now, Yuhan still looks like a tyrant, but I can't buy it. Ill looks like a good-natured fellow, but still a brat. He looks like a brat who like got his candy taken away sort of idea. And then according to this chapter, he was like, oh, well, my brother got the next best thing. I mean, I'll pump a red-haired child out of you as fast as I can. He was so religious to the point of being a fanatic. And the promise of a red-haired child made him do, like, I think Ill's almost the evil one. We don't want to believe it. I know some people have had that theory, but he seems to be more fanatical than we were led to believe. I mean, Hawk also trusted Soo-won. And I've been basing my entire thing about Ill not being the bad person that we've been led to believe based on the fact that he said, the man who grabbed the sword and hid the bleeding hand behind his back, that man was no coward. And I was like, alright, cool. And I've been following that line this whole time. But this is the same man who also believed in Soo-won his whole life. So, at this point, I don't know what to believe. guys, I'm completely, and girls, I'm completely torn. This chapter has almost opened my eyes to the possibility that I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who's right or wrong anymore. I know that I want Yona and Hawk to succeed, but what is their goal? What is their endgame? And that's what Ki-sok sort of used against Yona to kind of cripple her and cripple the four dragons, Yona, Hawk, the Happy Hungry bunch, the whole bit. I kind of like this. I kind of hate it. I want to know where this is going to go. So, thank you guys so much for watching, reading along with me if you were. This has been Griever. Like, comment, and subscribe. Always appreciated. This has been chapter 194 of Akatsuki no Yona, also known as Yona of the Dawn. We will be back here for chapter 195. Hope you guys stay tuned for that. See you back here next time. Don't forget, drink responsibly as always. Even though we're not behind the bar, still, drink responsibly as always. See you next time.